Okay, so I'm here with Alan Makey. Is it Makey? How do you pronounce it? Makey.
Yeah.
He's the filmmaker behind this fantastic short documentary, Hope.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you
Welcome.
very much. Thank you.
You know, you've got to tell me what the story's about. I obviously know I've seen it loads of times, but for the sake of people, if you can just give us a synopsis, it'd be wonderful.
Hope is a documentary short that talks and tells the story about the rescue with the aftermath of Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. And this was done through an idea of Natalia De Negri. She's one of the producers and an activist. And she also works with the family foundation, the Hasenfeld Family Foundation initiatives.
They're behind Hasbro, I think, aren't they?
They're also behind Hasbro as well. And she contacted Alan Hasenfeld regarding the situation. There was an opportunity that they could send supplies to help the children and the elderly, and at the same time bring them back for those in need because they had like major health issues. And so another producer, they put together the probability of actually getting an airplane, a commercial airplane, fill it up with supplies, and then send it to Puerto Rico, and right there have people waiting at the airport and bring those back. The children that were like sick and elderly, especially the most in need. And Alan Hasenfeld and the Foundation Family Initiative approved it. So Natalia called us, me and Henry Zaka, to if we wanted to collaborate. So we said, sure, we collaborate in the whole process, and mine as well. I just, collect footage out of this beautiful movement, this action that came together between Natalia and Alan Hasenfeld. And so we went there and we started documenting everything in a very, random way, because we were also collaborating on the process. And so after that, the mayor was very grateful, and celebrities jumped on board, Latin celebrities, and everybody was very excited about what Natalia and the foundation started doing with Puerto Rico. And so in the end, they sent another plane. So it was twice. So we went twice there, but it was it was a wonderful experience, but at the same time, it was very sad when you see that.
When you see it on the ground, must be.
Yeah, because there was not electricity. There's still some regions that there's no electricity. So be part of this project was a beautiful opportunity for me, because I'm a fiction filmmaker. I create stories, I co-write stories that come out of an idea. And this is a true story, and this is a documentary, and so it gave me a grasp and an understanding that sharing to give something back, it's also a good thing. It makes you feel good as a filmmaker as well.
And in fact, what's really interesting, obviously we're going to talk mainly about Hope, is obviously know you from your narrative features, and what's really fascinating is, apart from the fact it's got, when some of the shots on this that you've done are amazing, and I can see you've got a really good eye for it, but it's how you can switch from those great feature narratives to something small and intimate like this, because the switch is, but the point I'm trying to make is you're obviously very good at doing these things,
Yeah, no, thanks. No, what happened was very interesting. I mean, we documented this not for a documentary short. It was not supposed to do a documentary film or anything. We just went there, we had iPhones. I brought, of course, a professional camera for me to hold. But then we had Jaime Cardona, we had Henry Zaka, and Natalia, and they were holding iPhones, but they were working. Everybody was working, carrying on, boxes and moving the supplies from A to B, and helping the children and helping the elderly. So it was a whole process of helping. Including the celebrities and on other Latin TV channels like Telemundo, Univision, etc., etc. So. But the thing is that, I asked Alan Hasenfeld if it was okay to, to share his thoughts and the reason he pushed it to do this and to help, the island of Puerto Rico. And so during the interview, he shared a lot of important information. So when I was doing the editing, it was coming out like in a really nice way. And we said, you know what? We have this that we could share it across the globe, and bring consciousness to society that in times of need, it doesn't matter where you're from. my parents are Lebanese. I was born in Venezuela, and I'm an American citizen. And yet, you know, I did something for Puerto Rico, which I don't even live in Puerto Rico. You know, my country, Venezuela, it's in hard times. I have my way to help my country as well. And we always try to find a way to give something back. So I asked Alan, you know, your narrative was very good during the interview. So in the end, he's actually the one that narrates the story in this cut that we made.
And we should point out that Hassenfeld Family Foundation, they are big supporters of charity and humanitarian projects. I knew this in a film, and also from the editorial that was supplied.
They're all about
giving. It's all about
they're all about helping kids, helping children. They've done it for many, many years. They have children hospitals. They have they also through you know, like the communities and the movements. They do a lot of things. And then also Natalia has been a big part of this.
Because she's quite well known.
Audiovisual.
Yeah, she's quite well known.
She's done a lot of things.
Yeah.
And you know, she's a producer, actress, TV host, and she's an activist. And she's been working with the Hassenfeld Family Foundation. And so she's sort of like the medium to come out and tackle those situations. Like, for example, she has a show that is all about children and finding the stories of these children that are in need, or they have a dream that they never accomplished because of disability. And so her goal, together with the Family Foundation, is to try to bend time and space and bring that dream closer to that child in particular. And I think it's a wonderful thing. So Natalia is very proactive. She's a very sensitive woman. When she reads the news, she always can, you know, break and share it always with us, like, you know, why this is happening in the world. And when it comes to any topic, terrorism, gun shootings, then you have Mother Nature, earthquake. It happened in Mexico right after Puerto Rico. And you have all these things happen. And so working with her, it's kind of cool because she reminds you, hey, you know, it's not about just make a fiction movie that no one gets hurt, you know, give something back. You know, if you're gonna tell a story and you help that community about something that happened, it's a good feeling. And it actually happened to me, and it's happening over and over because we're working on a few documentaries right now.
And was it, I suppose, particularly with Hope, was it quite an affecting experience? I know you mentioned, and what I mean by this, you mentioned on the ground, and you're going to see the devastation, despair, and the utter carnage, the physical carnage that's been caused by these natural events. But you and I, and people we know, are from I'm choosing my words here, a relatively privileged part of the world that's unlikely to see this kind of devastation.
Definitely.
Yeah. And although we may struggle in comparison to what they have, it's a different kind of struggle, because they're struggling to live, aren't they?
Totally.
So, I mean, I'm just trying to get a sense of the very first day that you saw the after effects, you got off the plane and you've gone wherever. I'm just wondering what's the very first, how does it affect you? Does that make sense?
It becomes like you go back to like a chaotic third world country setup, you know? It's almost like a stage, like a movie stage. And you know, you're gonna shoot a scene that everything is chaos and nothing works, and it's a sense of survival. So when you get there, you know, like the airplane, they use like, it was pitch black, the airport.
Because there's no electricity,
and there was only the controls on the airplane to be able to land. And it's not like a jet or like a tiny airplane. It's a commercial airplane that, you know, sending the supplies and bring 180 people back that are in need. And so when you land at the airport and they're all with power,
generators.
The generators.
Yeah.
And you see that the problem is bigger, but you don't see the actual problem until you start talking to your Puerto Rican friends. Like, I have a lot of friends that are from Puerto Rico, and they live in Puerto Rico, and some of them are in Miami, and they start telling you all the details. And as of today, a few months later, still there's a lot of problems.
It's horrendous
in the
still,
island.
yeah, it's still horrendous.
It's still a problem. people go there, they're going on vacation, they're trying to keep tourism, bring it back on because they depend on tourism to bring income for the city, for the island, but still it's a big problem. But the Puerto Rican people are very patriotic and they really love their island, so like a lot of them are not willing to leave. They wanna stick around, they wanna rebuild it, and it's a good thing. We're having a similar thing. People, from Venezuela, like I said, I was born in Venezuela, and it's the same thing. But I was raised in America, so I live in America for most of my life. But a lot of people in Venezuela are the same. They're very patriotic, and they're not giving up on their problems. It is my problem emotionally, but not physically, because I don't live it on a daily basis. But I have family members that they do live the social political situation. And humanitarian situation in Venezuela. So it's the same. When you compare it, it's like something really bad is happening. They're not willing to give up.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, you have the opportunity to have people from the outside world to help. And I think that's important because maybe one day you said that we are privileged and that we live in a privileged, let's say, city that nothing really, really bad happened, like Miami. I mean, we have hurricanes, but the worst thing is like you don't have electricity for a week and that's it. But Puerto Rico, it's
total devastation.
It's total devastation, but you also have things that happen around the world. So in the end, the message is that, and Alan said it once, like children are the most important resource. Of the world. They are the future, and without them there's no future, and the planet will not continue as it is with us around. And so it's important that whenever a country or an island have something is going on, the outside world, you don't need to be born there to help. And I think it's important that the world starts shrinking distance in terms of like reacting upon a situation to collaborate, because in the end we're all
part of the same deal.
We're all the same. We're on the same place. It's the same house. Somebody broke it down into lines on a map, but in the end we're in the same place, and we have to keep an eye on each other. That's how I see it now. Before I didn't see it as much because I wasn't involved in like humanitarian issues. And it gives you a good feeling to be part of something like that, and that's why we're getting involved in other projects that are about the same situation.
Because you said you've got a couple more. I know we should point out actually that because this is important. Again, I knew this, but from the editorial, that you're part of a production company that's involved in multiple projects, and narratives and documentaries.
And documentaries lately, we got into documentaries lately. With Epic in Motion is our production company, and my business partner is Henry Zaka, and we work together.
He's a lovely guy.
He's a great guy. He's really cool. He's a huge mentor in my career as well, because he's a producer, but he's been an actor for decades, and he understands the industry inside out. And so then we joined venture with Trinitus Production, which is founded by Natalia De Negri, and then of course we have the post-production joint venture, which is coming from Jaime Cardona, who is the one who actually did all the musicalization and post-production.
Because you've literally got everything. I mean, state
so
of the art.
So we have a team. We have a team, and we stick together. It's like our team is non-negotiable. Like we stick together for whatever projects. And
very cool, because it's very unusual to have the whole
I think it's important because you need to have a team that you trust and that you move forward and you grow together. And if you need something else that it's out of our reach, and of course you need to, you get that help, you get that service. But we're a cool team, and we're leveraging and pulling against each other to keep on growing.
Yeah.
And Natalia brought all these documentary thing to the radar, and we're enjoying it. We're enjoying it because it makes you feel good, especially when you're doing an interview and you're actually getting a response from, like, whether it's a victim or a family member.
She's very good.
And you start actually you start getting into that scene with a big difference. It's a real live scene. It's not fake. It's not fiction.
No.
It's not like you're gonna rewrite it. Oh, you know, let's make it a little
move
bit.
the car to the left. Or whatever, yeah.
No. Let's change the angle. You don't do tricks. That's what it is. So it affects you. So you grow up as a human being, but you also grow up as a filmmaker, because now you know that you're telling a story that could touch other people's heart, and I think that's a good thing.
Thank you. Brilliant. Thanks, Alan.